Wayne Gacy and Dear Mr. Gacy. Did he request any music, perchance?
Yes.
Did he? Cool. I prefer they pick it. Because, I mean, who would know they want to hear this weird stuff as they're brought on the air?
Well, sometimes they're in the mood for something.
I can't believe how often it's something tasteless they want to hear. No. Really? I'm so surprised. Hello, William Forsythe.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Very well. I watched the entire Dear Mr. Gacy. In fact, we watched some of it on the air a couple weeks ago, and wait, really impressive John Gacy who played it. Freaked us out a bit.
Too.
I bet you did.
Honestly, to play John, I mean, I've done a lot of movies, and I've played historical characters and things that people have done all kinds of things, but to play John Wayne Gacy was truly a journey to hell.
Well, I was amazed to read the extent to which you went to study the person John Gacy and all what he was about, going to Chicago and checking with a lot of his friends and all that. But in particular, it really blew my mind when, at least according to the information I've got, that you actually looked at some of the victims' photographs, which, holy smokes, I can't imagine going to that extent. That must have taken you back a couple of steps, huh?
Well, I mean, that was part of what I was doing, and I'll be very honest with you. I put together the photographs of the victims, and I put it into a slideshow, and, and sometimes I would watch it, and I could not ever get through it without truly emotionally breaking down. It just breaks my heart, to think of this horrific monster, this predator, and these poor innocent boys.
But somebody's got to play this guy, and we understand it certainly is art in that respect. But I thought it's not just the monster that was hard to play, and I thought that part. I mean, there were parts of this movie I was very uncomfortable. Honestly, I really felt that way, which is a testimony to what a great job you did. But I think playing this badass killer who also is gay, although not really acknowledging it, that part is really strange too, and I would think hard to do.
It's interesting when they interview him, they would refer to him as homosexual, and he would start fighting. Oh, no, I'm not.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Say that. And meanwhile, there's 28 boys buried under the crawl space, and 5 in the river.
Well, he said that on the tapes with Jason Moss, too, which and he's obviously hitting on Jason. He wants to have sex with him in the worst way. In fact, we have these strange tapes of Gacy talking to Jason because he lived in Michigan. He's now deceased also. But did you get to listen to the tapes of Jason Moss talking to John Gacy?
No, I never listened to any of those. I never, I was never privy to that. I tried to make this experience, and I tried to really capture and understand who he was. And, I mean, you got to understand, while Gacy was in prison, what happened with Jason, this was not uncommon. And I don't want to be glib, but John Wayne Gacy was a rock star when he was in prison.
God, that's for real?
Thousands upon thousands of fan letters.
But, William, he really got to spend time alone with Jason Moss? That's real? I mean, that really happened?
Yes, there was a visit. What actually happened in that room, they had what Jason's take of it was. I'm not sure it was the total truth.
Yeah,
but
I'm not either.
I know that what happened in that room, changed him forever, obviously. I mean, to find himself, just as this film was about to, as they were about to lock down a deal on his book to make the movie, to just take his own life, and of all days on 666.
Yeah, we had talked with Jason a lot, back when he was when he came out with that book, and he sent us the tapes. We had many conversations with him, and we were really just taken aback when all of a sudden he killed himself. And in the end, in a funny way, it's almost as if he was his final victim in a strange way. I don't know. What provoked that, but I can't help but feel that way. That in the end, John got him in a strange way.
Oh, he got him. But to me, that's the theme of our film. I mean, this is a movie about a young man who thought he could get into the mind of this serial killer, when in reality, once he did, he opened up the box.
Yeah.
And when he opened up that box, he got the darkness and evil beyond his scope.
Yeah, it was like Pinhead, man. It was like Hellbound Hellraiser, wasn't it, really?
Well, Jason is kind of playing with fire a little bit. I think he thinks it's sort of a game when he starts. It's for a college paper and all that, and it ends up developing into something much larger. And I don't think he really was as serious about it. I mean, I don't think he really realized what kind of danger he was dipping into. And
boy, when he did it, and yes, he did. He took this shot and he went in, and I don't think he had any idea he would get where he was going to get. But once he did, and he did try to flirt with Gacy. He did put out these kind of vibes to Gacy, and once that happened, it became overwhelming for him.
Yeah, you're right. And I thought it was interesting too that on the tapes when he's talking to Gacy about whether asking him if he ever gets any visitors, and when John was telling him like, oh yeah, and Jason, there was an emotional response to that. There was a big uptick in his voice, almost an excitement, if you will, of like, really, and he came alive in that moment, and I thought that was interesting, especially once, of course, it led to that actual meeting. And I agree with you. I don't think we know the full story where John was supposedly took out his erection and this menacing. All of a sudden, his eyes turned black, and he was being targeted to be laid out right there with the guards.
I don't doubt that, because that's John's MO. I mean, John, you've got to understand, was probably in my research, my discovery was everyone liked him, and he was the most charismatic and charming guy you could ever imagine.
Yeah, but the confrontation
it was a 100% turnaround into hell.
Yes, that confrontation at the end of the movie that you had. Your version of it was more physical and more threatening. It seems to me the one with Jason that he described was more of a sexual nature. But the way you played it, I thought it seemed like it could have been very much that way. I don't know. Was that something that you had to interpret?
I'm sitting there feeding him whipped cream, off a spoon. I mean, it was definitely sexual based, but it's not just some sensual experience. Let's face it, Gacy was. He would take these people, he captured them, he tortured them, he spoke to them. I mean, his father, who basically physically and mentally abused him, used to call him names, and basically, if you really take a good look at it, that's what Gacy would do to these boys.
It is a frightening scene. It was scary. The way Jason described it was just almost freaky. And watching the movie, I got to tell you, it was awkward, uncomfortable. I mean, those are the feelings that you're supposed to get when you're witnessing something like that. And it wasn't one of these things, oh, this is a stupid movie. It was really freaky.
Yeah, it sure was. You did a great job and really brought the character home, no question about it. And it isn't interesting too with these serial killers, just like when you mentioned, William, about the charisma he had. So often that's the case. You hear about these serial killers like Ted Bundy. They just and I guess if you're going to have that many victims, you've got to talk them into the trap, I suppose. So you've got to have that characteristic.
More than Ted Bundy, more than anyone ever, he was the master, the master of the opposite. And, this isn't a guy that was hiding behind a truck waiting to capture someone. This is a guy that could talk you in and you'd feel comfortable and come be with him, and then he would turn the tide on you. The reason I did this film, if you don't mind me introducing, guys, is just, I have to be honest, is that, I became so passionate about the fact that this film, the theme of this film to me is about kids. It's about young people and teenagers. I wanted people to realize. I can't tell you how many kids have come up to me and go, hey, dude, wow, you played Gacy. He's one of my heroes. And I get almost violent mad about it.
Boy.
Because I tell them, I said, well, how would you feel with 300 pounds of John Wayne Gacy with his knee on your neck? I said, raping you, torturing you, killing you. I said, you better wake up. Okay, because the reason I did this film, if there's any reason at all, was because I want young people to realize that there's true evil in the world, and the hell with pop culture, making these kind of guys heroes.
Oh yeah, like when they had remember when they had the serial killer T-shirts that were all the rage and glorifying these guys, and you're absolutely right when you talk about him being sort of a rock star, and how many times have we all been just aghast at seeing women lining up wanting to be courted by these serial killers, and they want to date them, they want to marry them in prison, they become stars, and they write them and everything else. It's incredible. It defies logic.
Well, there was There was a woman I saw on, I don't know if it was Donahue or Oprah or something, this woman who wanted to marry John Wayne Gacy, and I just thought, what, is this a joke? I mean, do you really think this is funny? What's wrong with you? I don't know, these people just think, it's a trip to fame, and what you're saying about evil, if there's anything more evil than John Wayne Gacy, I sure as hell don't want to see it, and I don't know what these kids...
I can't ever understand the embracing of something like this, and that's what really gets me. It just gets me. And even more today than in John Wayne Gacy's time, it exists.
Yeah. Well, it's a trip to your 15 minutes. That's the only thing I can think of, but people obviously don't. They're not thinking straight when they do stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, I know your time is wrapping up with us. I know you got a busy schedule, William, but we really thought this was a fantastic movie. I know it's on DVD now. Dear Mr. Gacy, William Forsythe, appreciate your work and your time.
God bless, guys. Happy holidays.
You too. Have a great Christmas. See ya.
I know.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And then he started coming on to me.
It's not a love affair. The object is that you're both getting your rocks on.
No.
These tapes, I swear, I sort of feel like Jason in a way that, when I listen to these things, I can't help but just, this is real. This is really him talking to this guy about getting off. It's just so weird.
Yeah, the thing of it is, too, that makes it all the weirder is that Jason's voice is just so odd.
I know.
If it was a guy with a deeper voice, or a manly kind of a guy, you know how radically that would change our perception of these tapes.
I see what you're saying, John.
Yeah, no, really, it's so true.
I'm totally confused.
Yeah, it's like, you ever have any visitors, or how does that work? But this guy, he's just so mousy. That's what makes makes me sometimes think if he was kind of killing the gay within, when he...
Get on your knees and get on it.
I'm shocked, too, by the way. Didn't you tell me at the end of this movie they don't tell you that he killed himself?
No, they don't.
Don't you think that would have been a powerful thing to roll that after the movie, Jason?
Oh, my
Moss?
God, absolutely. I thought it was irresponsible. It made it look like
huge.
Well, it's kind of fun to correspond with a serial killer. Look at all the fun you can have. Although that scene at the end of the movie, I don't know how anyone couldn't get the idea that maybe that might be a little stupid to end up in a room alone with John Wayne Gacy.
Absolutely.
With the camera turned the other way.
And you wonder if they went all the way with him, too.
That is freaky. Oh. I don't recall Jason saying anything about him feeding him whipped cream.
No.
That scene is really awful. Oh, I hate that scene.
Jesus.
Because William Forsythe, he really plays this very threatening homo.
No.
And he's really good at it.
Nothing like a scary homo.
And he calls when Jason disappears to go, he tells him, go out and hustle tonight. I want you to tell me every last detail. He's like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. And he goes out and he meets that gay prostitute.
Yes.
And hangs out with him and gets fed a roofie. And then he misses Gacy's call. And Gacy calls the next time. He's like, where were you, man? I want to hear details. And you weren't there. He's like yelling at him. But that's the manipulation. He really was an amazing manipulator.
Yeah, and I don't remember hearing any of that stuff originally.
They wanted to go down on me.
What in the hell is Jason going out and following these instructions by being sent off to gay bars and all this stuff?
Why do you like going down on me?
That's awfully bizarre. Why would you... If your sole point is to find out who this guy was by... sort of taking on the whole MO of one of his victims.
Of a gay dude.
Would you really need to take it that far and go off to actually, for real, follow his instructions and report back? If anything else, you could just to humor the guy, you could invent some story of what happened if it was required to keep the conversation going with Gacy. You wouldn't really do it, honest to God. That's what Jason was. I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on in his head.
And this guy was, he was about 2 or 3 years younger than me. He was married. His wife was about to have a baby.
Mousy voice.
Every
time he responds, it just sounds ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. Anyhow, either way he was getting it.
He was married, and I'm married. And my wife used to go over to his house.
One way or the other, he was getting it.
Monday night, he used to come over, and we would be in the rec room.
I like the sensation of getting you off.
Good God.
And, you know how the subject with guys get into sex, and he says he's not getting them, and she won't go down on him and all this and that. And I said, well, why the hell would you go find something else?
How do you agree with that?
It's like Jason full well understands. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Started coming on to me.
Yeah.
And it's the strangest because I would have never thought of him being bi. You know, I had already been that way, and I never thought he was. But he was talking about how horny he was, and he ended up going down on me. And then each week it progressed to more and more stuff for the whole season, the whole NFL season. He liked to be submissive.
Cut it out, Jason.
And yet here's a guy that, you know, he had one kid, and his wife was getting ready to have the second kid. He was an insurance man. You know. But it wasn't about bodies. He was just the sensation of getting off. And that's what I was trying to tell you. Because I asked this guy, I says, why do you like going down on me? He says, I don't know. He says, it's not so much as he says, it's when I get you off.
Oh.
The power that I feel. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You do not.
And then he got
Maybe
more,
he does.
You know, each week, come over, we'd have our beer, watch the football game, and every one of them ended up doing the same thing. Either he was catching it one way or the other.
Catching it one way or the other.
It's kind of crazy, but they finally released audio of that one of those Monday Night Football parties, too.
I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. I'm tired of being in weird places now. Relax. Okay. All right. Now, calm down. How do I get this? Take it easy.
Well, the movie is Dear Mr. Gacy, and William Forsythe as Gacy makes this. I just can't emphasize if you find this sort of thing amusing, entertaining for whatever reason, and it really doesn't matter why, but it's just really well done. It's let's see, William Forsythe as John Wayne Gacy, Dear Mr. Gacy, on Blu-ray and DVD December the 14th. So it is out, and that was William Forsythe on the riff.